Yeah. Bro code.
Bro code, we in new mode, and we do it better sticking together. Won't bend, won't fold. No, I got your back through whatever weather, rain, sleet, or snow. Making profit while we get to the cheddar. We in that mode, you know if we got a problem, we pull up in that jail. Feel for all of my bros, collective like the colors in the rainbow. All of that talking you did on the net, we know that you only did it for a pose. If I pull up then I'll get in the tank, I need me like 500K for a show, or maybe more. And I got all of the stars in the ceiling cause we in a row. Yeah, just for the bros, brothers forever, so you know we got each other back. We aiming for gold, sticking together, killers about the weather, we never slack. Gotta stick to the code. Bro code, we in new mode, and we do it better sticking together. Won't bend, won't fold. No, I got your back through whatever weather, rain, sleet, or snow. Making profit while we get to the cheddar. They know we own. Take off, we gone. Diamonds, two-tone.
Good evening. Welcome everybody. Welcome all of our YouTube viewers, Facebook. Appreciate all the fans who've been tuning in. We're so glad to be back in the studio. Took a little break off, but we're here. We had a live show not too long ago. It went really good. Thanks to all the fans that came out.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. We had a good time, good turnout, good conversation. Two-way conversation. That was our first time experiencing that. So very fortunate for everybody that came out and supported us. You guys see we got a new background. We're in a new area right now. Shouts out to APAP Media.
Shouts out APAP.
Mr. Big ups. Yep. So we're here. It's your boys from Bro. All right, guys, we got a new topic for you. And this is going down the relationship realm. You know, we're not any relationship experts, but you know, we do like to talk about relationships.
I'm the closest expert.
We
had our experiences, so we something like some experts.
Right. So today's topic is what's the proper time frame to heal from a relationship before moving on to someone new? All right. All of us been in relationships, you know. Some of us been married. I've been married before, divorced. Rico's married. We've been in long-term relationships, short-term relationships, situationships. So we've all experienced a lot, you know what I mean? But in relationships comes a little heartbreak, you know, a little disappointment, you know. And then we have to think like, you know, what's the proper way to or the proper time frame to move on to something new, you know.
You
go.
Let me ask you a question, right? Mm-hmm. So we talking about moving on. So before you move on, what do you do to make sure 100% that it's time to move on, right? Can you, elaborate on that? Like, because I know, say, hey, let's go ahead and move on because she said we done, I said I'm done or whatever. Yeah. But should you actually evaluate then, right, before you finalize it and say, hey, you know, maybe let's give it another chance?
Yeah, good point. You definitely wanted to, in my opinion, you definitely want to make sure that the relationship is over, right? Mm-hmm. You know, because if there's any residual there, any doubt on either party, on either side, right? You definitely want to make sure that it is over, because the last thing you want to do is move on to someone else and you still got this going on here. To me, that's called baggage. You know, you don't want to bring any baggage, so you definitely want to finalize it.
I got you. So what's a? I'm gonna let you jump in. Sorry, but what's an actual deal breaker for y'all? Like what says like, you know what I'm saying? Like what say, man, this happens is 100% over. It's not even, we're not even gonna think about trying. We going this way.
Oh, in the relationship?
Yeah, in a relationship.
Cheating.
Yeah, infidelity.
Definitely. Yeah, infidelity. Like there is no coming back from that. Number one, because you've already proven to me that you're not trustworthy. Mm-hmm. I can't trust you. So now in my mind, if we're not together, then you might be doing the unthinkable.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I really want to say cheating would be a deal breaker, because it depends on the reason why they did it. So, and the reason why I say that, sometimes we have people like don't get enough attention, or basically another person may understand them better than they mate. Like that's why I tell people all the time, you have to pay attention to your mate. You gotta pay attention to the things they doing, the stuff they saying, because sometimes we as men, we can basically be hearing you but not hearing you. Okay, she may be crying out for some kind of attention that you basically either too busy or you just basically so used to her being around, so you just not even thinking about that.
I got you. So infidelity is not a deal breaker for you. So what is a deal breaker?
For me, I think it would basically have to be the fact that you're unappreciative of the stuff that I do. I would say basically if I'm basically doing a lot for you, we basically trying to build a team, and I'm putting all my time and energy into you, and the more I do, the more you just show me that you don't appreciate it. It's a deal breaker for me. That's a deal breaker. Like I said, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying cheating is I can just put up with you cheating all the time. Right. But at least if you cheat on me one time, my first thing is, okay, explain to me why that happened. Maybe it was something I missed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So help me understand why you did it. If you just did it because that's what you wanted to do, then we can't do this. I got you. But if you told me, okay, well, listen, all this time, all these months, I've been crying out to you. You didn't listen to me, so I went to work, and this guy was showing me all this attention and telling me how good I smell, and taking me to lunch and stuff. But you working 3 or 4 jobs, and you didn't even have time to even tell me, baby, I look good. Right. So all this attention I was getting, I felt weak. Then I had to check myself.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Coop.
So I hear you what you're saying, right? But to me, that's a selfish excuse, right? If especially, and I'm gonna put it like this, right? So like you said, lack of appreciation, right? So if you're doing all this stuff for her, and then she cheats on you, isn't that lack of appreciation? You know what I mean? Like, because you're providing a house for her, you're paying the bills, you're doing this, you're allowing her to chase her dreams and goals, and then because she doesn't get a little attention or something that makes her bubbly, she get a pass for that? No, sir.
Something to think about.
Not at all.
I understand.
There's no pass given for that.
But the thing about it is, you still have to be able to. That's where communication comes in. That you got to be able to understand why people do stuff.
But that's a conversation, right? Because we're adults. Like we're not kids. We don't just. That's a tip to me. That's a temper tantrum. And he's not giving me attention, so I'm finna go over here and get it.
Yeah,
right.
Well, it's a lot of
so now she's stomping out the room, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
What if you didn't do your research before y'all got together, and that's my point. That's her MO anyway,
right?
Yeah. Right, because you didn't do your research.
Well, I mean, at this age, I don't think we can get that much research we can do. What library we going to?
Rico, how about you, man? What's the deal breaker for you?
So for me, I think really like, let's say, for example, you in a relationship, whether married or just boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, long-term relationships, mostly. Right. That's why I really talk about long-term, not this fly-by-night stuff, right?
Right.
Not random.
Not the random.
Not the random.
Right.
But anyway, if y'all are together and let's say you're trying to set a goal, right? Like, hey, we really need to stop living in this apartment. We need to get a house, right? Something like that, right? And we got this goal and we got it up here and we working toward this goal. And for some reason you keep doing things, maybe buying this or doing that, just keep setting us back to where we can't achieve the goals that we're trying to attain, right? So that could be a deal breaker because it's like, hey, man, so that means in the future when we try to do something even bigger, we're not going to be able to get there because you're going to figure out a way to set us back, right? So we need to either figure out how, like, hey, when we set the goal, why can't you stick to the game plan?
Right. See, notice he didn't say cheating.
Okay, well, everybody got their vice.
That's his deal breaker. Yeah, that's his deal breaker.
Notice he said cheating because y'all look at me funny like, but really?
But to answer the question, the time frame to move on, I mean, it varies from person to person. I've seen some people move on like next day. Right. I've seen some people take time to actually heal themselves and say, hey, what did I do wrong? Right. Almost like a blame situation. Right. And they actually took the time to, figure out what they like, what they don't like. So that way when they go into their next relationship, it doesn't end up the same.
Exactly.
And then some people, they just, habitual daters, like they don't care, like they out one into the next, like a pair of shoes.
Yep.
So everybody is different.
Everybody is different, and I think we all agree that it's really no time frame. It's like you say, everybody is different. Yeah. And I kind of want to ease into that. That's actually going to be like my subtopic and everything. But I want to give you guys my deal breaker too. Because I want the fans to hear.
Let me hear.
And so for me, my deal breaker is, I said infidelity. But you know, when you get married, I've been married before, it's like to death do you part. So there's certain things, you know, you may have to ride the storm and, you know, forgiveness and everything like that, which we talked about forgiveness. But I would say an absolute deal breaker for me is not having the same faith. And let me rephrase that.
You mean religion or
religion? Yeah. So religion is a deal breaker for me. Not to say that if I'm a Christian or I'm a believer and they're not a believer, that's a deal breaker. My thing is, if I'm a believer and they're trying to stop me from believing or they're trying to take me away from my beliefs, that's an absolute deal breaker.
So trying to change.
Yeah. That's a deal breaker for me.
But you know, with most religions like Christianity, right? You're taught to try to teach it.
Yeah,
right?
you got to go out.
Yeah. So I mean, you're in the household with me. So if I believe this, I'm inherently I'm gonna try to teach you some stuff. I'm gonna try to pass it along, and we together. Like if we locked up during the pandemic, we in this room together, this house together. There's only us, and then I'm studying my word. You studying your word. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna try to. If we're trying to be a unit, you know, I'm gonna probably I'm gonna try to talk to you about what I'm reading.
Yep. So to me, that's an absolute deal breaker. You know, because it's like. It's already hard enough when two people are on the same page trying to reach those goals that you talk about. You know what I'm saying? So now if you're in you're supposed to be like this, it's almost like it's pulling teeth to even reach common goals because this platform, this foundation is really not solid.
Yeah. So like if your significant other all of a sudden, you know, converted while y'all was in a relationship, that would be changing and that would be a
like I said, she can have different beliefs, but
just don't talk to you about it.
Just don't try to steer me. Don't try to steer me in that direction.
Shouldn't. So if with that being a deal breaker, should you when dating, like ask that qualifying question? Like, what's your belief?
You should even
see if it aligns with yours.
Yep. You should even domesticate if it's different.
And then don't typically I ain't never been married, so that's why I'm just gonna ask this question. Like, isn't it typical where the woman kind of defaults to whatever the man believes religion wise?
Yes.
And then
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
In most cases.
Because I know somebody that was married and she believed in God and he didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
he's a non-believer, and that's fine. Right. You know, because he can eventually become a believer.
So did he? So did he term himself as agnostic?
Atheist?
To this day, he still don't believe in it.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, and she the thing about it is she started going to church and everything, and I was like, there's nobody that's gonna make me stop.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Serving, you know, because.
But I mean, she can start going to church, but do she still believe? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she still believes, but still, the thing about it, a lot of people believe. I'm saying, but the thing about it is, you in a household where your man don't believe. But the thing about it is, you so used to going to church and you so used to praising and all that stuff. So now you just go cold because he don't. Well, he can't do it like that.
Yeah, we just know that if you in two people, you know, they got to have pretty much the same beliefs, the same, you know, goals.
Yeah.
Or eventually y'all gonna butt heads.
Yeah. And you want to. It's almost like you don't date anybody on potential, right? You don't date somebody saying, oh, they're like this now, but eventually they'll change. Nah, you got to assume that they're not going to change.
You date people on potential all the time. Like if you met a young lady right now and she was in school and she like, oh, I'm about to be a surgeon or something like that. That's potential.
I think age, like at this age, no, I ain't dating no potential.
Okay.
That means she's driving, like she's working towards that surgeon, right?
Or say at this age, right? All of a sudden, you meet a woman and she like, oh. For all these years, I've been a nurse or something. Okay. Like, that's it, right? And then all of a sudden but I have these aspirations of opening up some business and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to leave my 6-figure job, right? Okay. And right now I'm not really making much money, but this is my ultimate goal, right? So you wouldn't date that girl because she left her 6-figure job, but she has potential now. Because it's still potential.
I hear you. At what point are we in this action, right? Are we still in the planning and dream phase? Right. Are we in the execution phase?
No,
because again, the bill still got to be paid.
And if you're in the execution stage, that means, okay, y'all gonna have a conversation before she moves.
Well, no. Okay, how about this?
Was in the execution phase, I could work with that because that means she actually putting action, foot to the ground. Right. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing.
She's showing those actions.
But if she over here dreaming and it's like 12, 24 months later.
Okay, so this is more so like y'all boys on these apps. So I know y'all boys on these apps. Right?
Whoa, man, let's go!
Man, it's real shit. Hold on, man.
On camera now.
You on the app? He did say, boy, so you might not be talking about it.
WhatsApp me. Everybody on WhatsApp. I'm on WhatsApp too, right? But anyway, and so you meet someone and they tell you their background, right? And like I said, they moved on from a career that they had that was successful, right? But they changing it up, right? So they don't make as much money as they used to. Right. They can't travel as much as they used to because they have this goal. Right. And they told you this goal, right? And so it's potential that once a six-figure salary or whatever can end up being $1 million salary if they get it right? So they have potential at that point, right? So, but y'all are entering the dating phase, and so you're gonna X that person out because they got plans?
No, I wouldn't say you X them out. Right. But the thing about it is, I'm with Coop. We got if we sit down having a conversation. And we talking about all your dreams and aspirations and the goals you're trying to set. Then my thing is, if you're working toward those goals, then all that stuff should be in action. So that's when you ask the person that's interested in them should come with conversation on trying to see what step they at. Okay, if you're talking about, well, I'm about to open up a daycare. Okay, have you found the building? Okay, have you got your license? Have you reached out to the food program? And you got to ask all these different questions. If they don't know half of what you're talking about, no.
Yeah. Had they even looked
because now I'm flipping from asking you questions about what you're trying to do to now figuring out, okay, so that means every time we go out, I got to pay for it.
Right. And I may be a little shallow, but what I'm talking about when it comes to potential, it's like you see somebody, you like them, y'all vibe real good, but you also know she doesn't have a career, right? She's like she can't figure out life, doesn't know what she wants to do. But in my head, we have all these conversations. Man, you'll be good at this. You can sell houses. You can do this. Man, you smart. You can do this. But she don't have that same energy. That means I see her, but I also see her potential. That ain't enough.
Well, at that point, I don't know if that's potential because she has to believe in herself first and know exactly what. So that is not potential.
But it's potential because I put that potential on her.
Oh well, yeah, that might be the problem, right? So the thing is,
it goes back to what you were saying that she don't believe in herself.
Yeah. Man. So if she believes in herself and she knows all that stuff that you was talking about, everything, right? The potential is there. So she don't need you to come in and say, exactly. Well, you can do this and you can do this. No, I already know what I'm doing. Exactly. I stopped doing this because I'm doing this. I don't have this now, but I'm working toward it.
Yep.
Right. So that potential is good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this. Even with that scenario, if you're gonna leave a six-figure job to step out to do something that you always dreamed of, then your money need to be lined up to cover that.
Right.
I'm saying don't just step out on this dream and then you got all these bills and you don't know how you're gonna pay them. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you're gonna step out on something like that, make sure all that stuff is covered. You don't sit down and you don't negotiate this deal. You got to make sure you got enough money that's gonna cover these 3 or 4 bills for the next 4 or 5 months while you pursuing this dream.
Yeah.
Don't basically have all these dreams and you step out and then you feel like somebody come in showing you interest that basically they supposed to help you with all those bills when you the one made them.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you can start doing it little by little. Like I met a guy like years ago. He was a GBI agent, but he also did photography on the side. So like when he got to the point of wanting to leave his federal job and step into his passion, he did that. He already had the clientele lined up. He already had his equipment. He already had everything that he needed to be successful in a transition from one job to the next.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, use your full-time job to fund your passion until you can make it a full-time job.
Right.
So let me flip this right quick.
No, hold on a second. So, because we got to move on. And actually, man, I'm so proud of you guys, man, because this is the current us right here. You know, we got experience, we got some knowledge, we got some bumps and bruises, right? This is the current us right here, right?
Like some experts.
All right, so let's talk about how we handle breakups, younger us versus current us. So what, like, is there a difference? Is there a difference in how we handle breakups?
Oh, definitely.
Now versus back then when we was just pop locking and dropping and just doing our thing.
Oh, younger ages, man, we didn't care. You know, we didn't have that sense of responsibility of what's the word I want to use? I guess respect.
Right.
In relationships.
What's different now? If we breaking up like now, right? You might have kids in the mix and stuff like that. So that's completely different than 17-year-old you, 20-year-old you. If you don't have no kids, completely different.
Yeah.
But then just dealing with with the women now, like I think we had conversations before where it's like, all right, continuing to tell your partner like, hey, this is where you're coming up short. This is where you're coming up short. And then them not hearing you, okay, this is not going to get better,
right? Right.
Or them, saying, well, you doing this, okay, well, same thing. That's like, if that happened, address that then.
Yeah.
Don't bring it up now that I'm saying something.
I think how we probably, all of us compared to like younger us, right, is that for guys, I think that it may be easier for them, like if you broke up, right, and you was at the grocery store and a chick walked up to you in the grocery store and you like, she looked nice or whatever, you'll probably go out on a date the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It may not be, it's most likely it's not going to be anything serious, but you'll go. I'm just assuming.
Right. Yeah.
And that's younger you and now you.
So with me, I would probably say it has to be different because the younger me was more so of like, I didn't really know what love was really. So I was more into trying to find it. So basically, every heartbreak hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
but you're a falling in love guy.
Well, yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it. We keeping it real. My man Orlando, when he go in,
he's an R&B.
He's singing and making you a CD.
It hurt it a lot because basically when I love hard, so I put a lot of energy into it.
Yeah.
So basically,
that's current you and younger you too.
Current me and younger, but see now the older me now is more so working on. You got to know your worth. I'm saying so now. I'm saying if it's like basically, well, you know what? I don't think it's gonna work between us. Okay, that's cool. I know my worth. I mean, then I'm not for you. Okay, right. Younger me would be like, really? Come on, can you give me another chance? I'm like, why not? I'm saying like, what I need to change. What I need now. You like, well, you know what? This ain't gonna work. All right, deuces.
Yeah.
I think experience is definitely the best teacher. You know what I mean? We enter in these relationships when we were younger and we endured a lot of heartbreak because we didn't know, how to deal with relationships. We didn't know what love was. We was in some strong light.
Exactly.
She's pretty, I like her.
Right. Exactly.
But now, older us, we've been through some stuff.
You gotta be selective.
Selectively choosing,
guard their heart.
the people that we choose, that we want to deal with. And then addressing things as they go. And if, the reciprocation is there or the response is there, like, all right, we can fix this, or we can, change that. Yeah. If not, then we can move on.
And not just
it's
that,
amicable.
Man.
It's not no anger.
It's not like the older you get, it's not just about a relationship anymore. It's more about a partnership. Like you thinking about, I'm saying, is this woman gonna be there for me? I mean, if I get sick, is she gonna be able to take care of me? Is she gonna be able to have my back? Right. If I lose my job, can she carry the load until I find another? All this stuff plays a part. When you're younger, you ain't really thinking about that. But that's the older you get, you think about all that.
Yeah, but the thing is that, like I said, if the person, if you with somebody today, right, you got to be willing. If you really, really with them, if they were unable to work today, right. Are you gonna keep taking care of them and there's no dual income. There's none of that, right? It's you taking care of that person, right? So the person that you really, really want to be with, end up with, you got to know that something could potentially happen in a car accident or something like that. Yeah. And and it's all on you from a breadwinner standpoint and taking care of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just gotta be prepared for stuff
but
like
it
that.
should go both ways, though.
Well, it has to go both ways,
It
right?
has to, but it don't.
Well, you don't never know until something like that.
So
happens.
how long? That's what I'm saying. So how long you got to stick around before you find out that it's not gonna work like that?
Oh, I'm not saying.
Well, honestly, you can kind of foresee that in like small behaviors and things that are being done. So like as an example, say you catch a cold and you don't go to work for like a couple of days. If that person, call you regularly, check on you for the time that you're out, and then try to bring you some stuff. Cool. All right. The potential is there for them to take care of you, right?
They care about
if something
you,
really happened, if y'all were to get together.
That's right.
But on the flip side, if they call you like once out of them 5 days, they don't try to offer to bring you nothing, they don't ask you if you okay or need anything, then you already know, that writing on the wall. So you might want to go and skip on down the road. Right. So, I mean, the person to let you know, what I mean? It'll be there to either be, that person to help you heal or not.
So cool. You just mentioned heal. And that's really like the main point in this topic. This is why I chose this topic is healing, right? We as people, we as men, we have to learn how to heal. Right. Before going into a relationship, before going into just anything, right? When it factors in your heart, your mind, and your emotions and everything like that. So, we talk about these relationships and we see the trend. People in relationships, people married, people divorced, people break up, people in situationships like we talked about. So it's a common thing, right? Mm-hmm. But I also think what's common is people are not taking the time to heal, right? So in my opinion, man, I truly feel like if you, and this is all current us now, this is all older men, wiser men, like you said, been through things. But if we're still in the realm of breakup, divorce, or whatever, and then you just jump to the next person without healing, that means you're looking for something. You're attracting what I would call a bottom feeder, right? Somebody who you're at your lowest point, that person is attracted to you because you're at your lowest point, right? So I call that a bottom feeder, right? So they get energy from, they feed off of your negative energy, right? So that's why I call it a bottom feeder,
But
right? So
how does that person know that you're
Right. I'm gonna say that.
that way, right? So if you're out and you meet somebody, they just meeting you, right? So they don't know what you're going through and all this kind of stuff. And then now that you start telling them, they could be genuinely, concerned. They might, find themselves attracted to you or whatever, and then find themselves concerned that you actually having to go through something like that.
Right.
So they're not necessarily bottom feeding. Maybe they're a person they're trying to console you in a certain way.
yeah, but if you're truly talking to that person, that means that person knows what you're going through, right? That means that person has that time to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you some space, because you just came out of a big relationship. I can tell how you're talking about it. That's a person that will, like you said, can uplift you, right? And give you that space. But you choose to, what? I still want some companionship. I still want, that whatever. And that person knows what you're going through, and you're complaining, you did this to me, and they're feeding off of it, right? You haven't healed. You haven't healed. So if you let that relationship progress, and that person lets that relationship progress, that means y'all are feeding off of somebody that's not healed.
I understand what you're saying. Like I understand what you're saying. Like that person can make a choice to help you or hinder you. Right. And hindrance means not help you heal. Like continue to allow you to project that negative energy.
Exactly.
Right. So if that person truly sees you as their future, or even for a short time or a long time,
Right.
They can make a choice right then to say, hey, that happened. Let's move on from it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Let's look at it just a different way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But do you think some of that
Exactly.
is on you because like you meet a person, right, and they don't know you hurting, but then all of a sudden you starting to give them all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's you. That's your problem. That's your
Exactly.
fault.
Exactly.
Like what?
Yep.
Why are you giving all that? But then now you're saying that it's a problem how they respond to it. If they want to respond in a consoling way and say, hey, you having these issues, you going through this. If she wanted to make you a meal or say, hey, let's take a trip somewhere, right? She trying to get your mind off of it. It's not necessarily she ain't trying to bottom feed. It's like you've given her all this stuff, and then she legitimately likes you now, cares for you or whatever, right? And she trying to help you out.
And not only that, you got to also look at it. How you know she ain't go through the same thing? I'm saying, like, sometimes basically we meet people that can actually relate to what we've been through. So I wouldn't say it's a bottom feeder. It's more so of a woman that's more understanding. And sometimes we need women like that when we hurt like that. You need some kind of female companion that can actually basically make you look at it from a different perspective. I wouldn't say it's a bottom feeder. I would think more so of a woman that basically, want to see you heal, because like you just said, she may see that potential in you, but even though she see potential, you still hurt.
Because if you go on a date, right? Why are you feeding her all of that stuff? That's too much detail on the first date.
So that's the point I'm making, is like, we need to take that time to heal before we move on to someone else.
Well, you don't even have to be healed, right? You just don't want to be, maybe you still going out, right? And maybe you just want some companionship, right? But don't give them all your stuff. You talking too much.
I think it's natural though.
No. What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't give them all your stuff? What are you talking about?
Like so. Okay, like if I go out with a girl on the first date, right? You can talk about your kids. You can talk about you like what's going on. You're like, oh, I'm divorced now or whatever, right? And then talk about some lighter stuff. Just anything, right? You don't have to give them that, man, my wife doing this to me, or my husband doing this to me.
AC defense. When you like these days, when you date like that, most women want to know, okay, so tell me about your prior relationship. So I'm saying,
what
so
you talking about?
the questions come.
Yeah.
But
you've been out of the game too long, bro.
I hate when y'all be saying that like I ain't never been out there before.
We ain't even trying to put you out.
But I'm just saying though, like when you first meet somebody, you can't just give them everything until you figure out like this is the girl that I want to be with, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta figure out another word besides random, but you just can't be going out there just throwing all your business out there.
But look though, as adults, we all adults, right? Those conversations come up, right? Inadvertently, they might not. You might have the purest intentions when you go out, and it's like one question. It's like boom, you done took the rocket ship.
So that means you gotta control yourself on what you talking about, right?
But it comes from both sides, though. It's not necessarily one way.
Prime example. Okay, I'm gonna give you a good example, right? Okay, let's say if me and Stacey had infidelity issues, I had talked about it, right? And so say if we was divorced, right? My first date and the girls start asking me questions or whatever, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I was in, this is what I was doing, and give her the whole spiel. This is what happened. This is how I did.
Okay. So how do people
just be honest out real, Rico?
So what's the purpose of going out? Just to go on trips and go to the movies, or to get to know each other?
You getting to know each other, but I'm not going to get into like some of those things. That's detailed, that's intimate type stuff, right? So not until I know that, hey, this relationship is going to move forward past. We just gonna have sex. We gonna do this, and then we gonna fly here and all that kind of stuff, right? So now that I know that I want this to be my lady, right? Or it's moving toward there. Now you start being more. You're not being not honest before. You're just not giving her everything.
Let me ask you. In that point right there, in that stage right there, are you healed?
Am I healed?
Yeah, from your past.
At that point,
are you healed?
Yeah, I could be, or could not be. Either one.
So let me say this. So
that's the problem.
So this is the thing you gotta understand.
We don't know if you healed.
So the three of us.
Why can't be the four?
No, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, the three of us, we all live by ourselves, right? Okay, you married, so you got somebody in your house. So this is like, I can't speak for them, but I can speak for me. Okay, so sometimes, me saying the quietness, it takes a toll on your mind. Okay, the loneliness takes a toll on your mind. Okay, the hurt that you sit there and think about takes a toll on your mind. So when you meet somebody and they talking to you and they basically being able to open you up for you to talk about it, it's gonna come out.
You got you got any brothers? You got any brothers? You got any platonic women friends? Platonic. You got a auntie that you can confide in. You got a really good. You got a mentor that you can, a counselor that you can. Right? It's all of that. You don't have to take your problem, those serious problems, on your first, second, third day, and then just giving it to them like that.
You might scare them away. You might not get.
They gonna be like, man, he got a problem, man.
Right.
And you liked her.
Yeah.
And she might have liked you already, but she finna force it.
Exactly. Yep. So that leads me, guys. So man, that's good conversation. That's real good conversation. So let's talk about some suggestions on. Wait, first of all, do we agree that we need to heal before we move on to something?
I would say so. Yeah. To get the most out of your next situation.
Yeah.
Right, because at
least 6 months.
Well, no,
it ain't no time.
Ain't no time. You can't put like this. It's like once you feel comfortable with, yourself in the situation that, hey, this relationship it ran its course and it's done, and you're not looking back at it. You're not, man, like, oh, you're not sitting there looking on social media. Oh, look at her, man. She all off in Bali. She in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm this way. She that way, and we good.
Yeah.
And this is why I say you can't put a time limit on it, right? Because every person you date, depending on how the relationship went, you're going to have a different perspective. You're going to have a different mindset afterwards. Someone you can be like, shoot, I'm sorry, that thing over with.
Yeah.
I can breathe now.
Because you could have ran it. Because you could have ran it to the absolute end. Because the first problem came up, you stuck around. You was working. You could have been working through it the whole relationship, right? And then when you finally say, hey, I'm done.
Right.
You might be healed because you healed during that time when you were trying. So before it ended, you was already healed, and you like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I have no ill will towards you or whatever. We just not.
We cool.
We cool.
Because you already saw the writing on the wall. It was not going to get better. Like everything that you brought up, everything that you tried to address, conversation, communication, all that stuff. It didn't work. Okay, cool. Now it's just going to run its course.
Yep. So let's talk about some ways to heal. Let's talk about some ways to heal. So I have a few. I'll go over a couple, and if you guys got any, we can talk about it. All right. So healing as a grown man. First, get in touch with the real you. Get in touch with the real
Self-love.
Self-love is very important, right? So when I say get in touch with the real you, in these relationships, when we've been in these relationships, you have a tendency to lose yourself, right?
That's true.
You know, you have a tendency to lose yourself, and you're trying to be everything you're supposed to be. You're trying to be that boyfriend, that husband, that father, that brother, that brother-in-law, that son-in-law, that man, that co-worker, just everything, right? You're carrying all that weight, and you can lose yourself. And that means we're not taking the time to really know what we like and what drives us, right? So that would be the first thing, just get in touch, see who you are at the core. Like, what drives AC? What is AC like? What is AC passionate about? When you're in these relationships, man, it's easy to lose yourself. The other one is self-reflect. How you really feel about things. Like, do I like meat? Do I want to eat red meat? I know everybody else in my family. Yeah. Do I want to do I really want to cherish my body and eat right? Unless I got a girlfriend that she always like to go out to eat, or she pantries this, and so we got different pantries and refrigerators and everything, like different foods. So you eat what's in there, right? You got to self-reflect. So that's the time.
Ribs, baby.
Yeah, self-reflect.
Extra barbecue sauce.
Your religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I grew up in the church. I grew up in the church, and so that was always a part of me. Then I know throughout life, I'll steer away and I'll come back and I straddle fast and everything like that. But then in relationships, that I've been in, there's no undergirding. There's no, okay, Alan, you going on the wrong path. The Lord said this. And so as a single man, if I want to get back on track, this is the time to self-reflect. Like, why have I fallen off, religious wise and everything like that. Another one I got is find a healthy outlet. I know you guys go to the gym a lot, so that's a real good one. Just going to the gym, taking care of your body.
And your mind.
Yeah, and your mind. I got that on here. Therapy, man. Get a therapist.
Talk with your fellas.
Yeah.
Talk with your boys.
Talk with your boy. That's why bro code is really, hobbies is another one.
Hey,
travel, new places. Yeah, there you go.
One of the most underrated outlets having a therapist.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Do not associate it with being crazy.
Right.
It's not.
Need somebody to
A
talk to.
therapist can give you a different perspective on things. They're not there to, I guess, entertain your
Judge.
feelings or judge. It's a completely safe space. They're completely neutral. They're trying to help you be the very best version of yourself that you can be, without having to worry about what you say or even how you sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People need to take advantage of it. And a lot of your insurance will pay for it.
They will. That's what I'm working on right now.
A lot of your insurance.
My
Look
EAP.
into it.
My EAP.
And
EAP, yes. Yeah, that's what it is.
Another good one, man, that I'm working on. You gotta learn how to date yourself.
Yes.
Yes. I'm saying, like,
I'd
I'm
master
here
that.
to tell you, but like,
I got some notes here.
Like,
I want some.
me and Coop, we talk all the time. I be like, he's like, man, what you doing? I'm about to go to the movie. I'm like, I can't go to the movie by myself.
Man.
He's like, I can't about to grab me some popcorn and watch this movie. And I be like, what?
I just signed
Kitty
up
bag.
for movie time. You know about it. Value Tuesday, $6. $6 movies every
Man,
Tuesday.
they went up. Man, they were
They
$5.
went, it was $5. They done went
You
up.
used to get the free popcorn.
They-
with it.
yeah.
Man, what you know about that?
For real, I just signed up. I'm a member now.
Well,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I'm going by
like I said,
myself.
when you date yourself, man, like I said, because like I think I could tell you a quick story. Man, it was so funny, boy. The first time I went through like a little heartbreak, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the movie by myself. Went to the movies, man, and the movie I went to see, man, they had all this love in it. I came out the movie, everybody hugged up. I was like, this ain't gonna work. I was like,
Maybe
this ain't gonna work, man.
you supposed to go to like a bar.
You said your very first heartbreak?
No,
was that Love Jones?
No, I wasn't the first heartbreak.
You were too young.
He broke up and went to Love Jones.
No, I think
But I saw Neil Long.
the crazy part, it was a basketball movie.
Love and
I thought-
Basketball.
Love and
It was-
Basketball.
No, not Love and Basketball was another one, but I can't think of the name.
Oh,
of it,
my
but
goodness.
That was tip of my tongue. But the thing about it is, man, even in the show, man, the dude won the game. He walked out with a hug with his girl. I went outside, everybody hugged. I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work.
Man, you gotta go see like New Jack City or something.
But not even just dating yourself, but spend time with yourself, man. Like you talking about being at the house and all the thoughts and stuff. Man, that's the time when you reflect on stuff, man.
Yeah.
Not just relationships, but life.
Yeah.
Decisions you done made, decisions that you're gonna make, stuff that is on the horizon, a different path that you might want to take. Man, you got to spend time with yourself so you can understand how you think.
Yeah.
What your perspective
I'll tell you
on things is.
another good one. Journaling. I write all the time. So
That's therapy for a lot of people.
If you got a lot on your mind, write it down.
Yeah. Yep.
Write it down.
It's a lot of. I've met a lot of women who journal, who keep diaries, and in their 30s and 40s.
And some of them turn them to books.
They do.
They do. Yeah, they really do. Writing is a real good one.
Yeah.
I know my church, man, it's really blessed. And I think I shared this with you guys. I did 2 13-week series of divorce care. So they have a care group. So they have small groups in my church where anybody that's grieving, loss of a loved one, divorce, they have some other ones too. It's their care they have every Monday. And so I did 2 sessions of divorce care. That really helped me. Small group. First time it was all online, and that's actually when I was first going through my separation, and we was just starting, bro code and everything. The second time I did it, it was all in person. And when I tell you, man, just having that small group and we watching videos and we kind of giving testimonies and different, it really helps. Just being around, like-minded people, same situation. And then the last one I did, or I am doing now, is called Boundaries. And there's a book. I mean, they got several books on boundaries, right? And that's really, really helped. So I would suggest, small group. Small groups is really good.
Yeah.
Yep. And the name of my church is 12 Stone. 12 Stone, they have like 7 or 8 campuses along, in the Atlanta area. And the central campus, which is the one I attend, is in Lawrenceville, close to Marlow, Georgia. Right.
Okay.
That small groups in church is definitely a big thing. When I was attending church a lot, I was attending Victory World Church, and they, do a lot of small groups.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of more intimate stuff where you can have people to, be more in tune with what you're going through. People that you can talk to, and who are transparent. A lot of the pastors talk about their struggles as human beings and men and women.
That transparency is key, man.
Yeah, man. Because it lets you know that they're human.
Yeah.
Even though they're in this certain position, they're still human.
Exactly.
And they have struggles as well.
And you're not going through it by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
You're not going through it by yourself.
That's right.
My church say the same thing. It's like we're better in circles than rows.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
That's
when
true. I
you
like that.
the small groups, like they got the men's small group,
Yep.
the couples, and then they got different ones for like kind of like different walks, like the younger teenagers
Right.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So they got all kind of groups,
Yeah.
and those
Yep,
they say
yep.
they really help out a lot of people. I know
Yeah.
me and my wife, we was in one for probably about I think like 5 years or something like that. But
Right.
then after our last group, we hadn't joined back again. But
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
we plan on doing it.
Yeah,
So they're really good.
iron sharpens iron, guys, for real, and that's why I really appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we all got different perspectives, different households, different experiences, but we come together and we just sharpen each other. Another group I have is an Iron Sharpens Iron group, and we meet every Friday at Panera Bread in the morning. So we meet up at 6:30, and it's no agenda. Like it's no agenda. It's like 14 of us. And we basically do a scripture, that stood out to us for the week, any prayer request that we have, and then a God move, how God moved us this week. And when you sit around, you just hear people talk, and the prayer requests. It's like, oh man, you know what I mean? It's like, I share with them that, I'm going, finances are tight right now, and then hear somebody else say the same thing and looking for a job, and we was able to connect with that, and so it's like. You need that because we all are going through different things. So I really feel like that's a part of healing.
Yeah, and I do think too with relationships, like if you're in and out of relationships, and then it's like keep having the same result, right? It may you need to start looking at yourself,
Right.
and self-reflect, like you're saying, and figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah. Self-reflection is always hard. You know what I'm saying? Because most of us think that we don't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So to look at yourself first and say, hey, what did I do wrong? That's a big maturity step.
Yeah,
Accountability.
It is.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. And I appreciate you guys for keeping me accountable. You know what I mean? Making sure I'm on time, right? Yeah.
You still working on that
beat me
part.
today. You beat me today. now you been on time.
Come on, man. I've been before y'all. Come on, now.
We gotta give him his flowers, man. He done been on time the last two times.
You know
man.
what? Actually, he has.
Yeah. I'm growing, man.
The last two shows, he been. Hey, okay, I give you a rose. Oh, no, no flowers. I give you a rose.
You must be on the app.
He on the app, man. What's that?
Why you go? Well, I was like,
Paul.
really? Did he just say that?
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, the show gonna be after the show.
Did he just say that?
What else we got? What else we got?
So basically, I would say, I guess the main thing as far as for this healing is just like I said, just making sure. Like I said, you gotta admit that you gotta heal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, one of the things I struggle with the most, man, is basically just being able to just get through the pain. Like I said, one of the craziest part about it is that's one of the reasons I really started this group. You know what I'm saying? Just basically because I was going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like deep. But you know what I'm saying? Come over with my boys, come over on Sundays, we chill, talk about different things. The more we talked about it, you know what I'm saying, the more it got out. And like you said, the show was after the show.
Yeah.
The sitting around and, the talking about this, that, and third. Who was that? You know what I'm saying? You don't say her name like 30 times.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? From 30 times to 0. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was
Progress.
Right.
Yeah.
Super progress.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So, but it takes that, man. Being able to, you know what I'm saying, have your boys there, man, and basically, and just like I said, the thing about it is, I think the biggest part for me was being able to admit I was hurting, and then talk to you guys, and then you were like, oh yeah, but I went through that already. What? You went what? So you're talking about like, so now you ain't got to be shame or think you may label or judge because they already been through it. So now these guys can help you through it.
Yeah.
Because as men, we are conditioned to keep stuff in, hold it in.
Yeah.
Or you fearful that we're gonna be like, man, you soft.
Right.
You charming over here, man. Stop crying, man.
We're not allowed to express our feelings and talk about how we feel.
Yep. So in closing, guys, respect to everybody that is in the process of healing, who has already healed. Continue to encourage the people that are close to you, that are in the process and the journey of healing. It takes a small group. It takes a village, guys, to get through this thing called life. And again, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the fans out there for following us. And once again, thank you so much, APAT Media, for these accommodations. We're very comfortable in here. It's real nice. Real comfortable. And we're just looking forward to just continue to grow with you guys. Got anything?
Yeah, so now we go to our favorite part of the show. Ask Bro Code.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an anonymous person. It says, when dating, should you lower your standards if it helps you be in a relationship?
Heck no. That's a no-brainer. Appreciate the question, but no.
Should you lower your standards?
Yeah.
No.
So I guess that means basically, you know, everybody have, like, honestly, a lot of people have high standards. So you got
relative though.
Like, but listen, you gotta make a certain amount of money, or you gotta be driving this, or you gotta be driving that. But then, what does that get you?
I see. You gotta be 6 feet. You gotta be 6 feet tall.
6 feet 6.
Okay.
All these different standards that you have, but then half of them you don't even meet yourself. So I would understand. I probably would say, I'm saying it depends.
So you know what? That's the current you, and I like that. The younger me just answered that. All right, so now let me let the current. That was the younger me that answered. I was like, heck no, that was younger me. You're right. All right, so current me would say, you know what? That's who asked that question? Do you know? It's anonymous. All right, so really good question. And now that I had thought about it and hearing you, sometimes maybe we should lower our standards, right? Because we as men, we can get caught up in this. Oh, she got to be, bang, all, you know. Nah, but where's her mind at?
Thank you.
Right? Where's her heart at?
Right.
You know, how does she get along with her family?
Right.
You know, all those things. So maybe we do need to lower our standards in some situations. I would agree.
I'm gonna say no, and this is why. Because when you lower your standards, you know, that word settling that people like to use, you're settling, right? Just to be in a relationship. And also, you are not going to be happy because you have lowered your standards. So for example, if you wanted the guy that make $1 million a year, just as an example, because, you know, we just gonna, that's what most women do look for.
Down the coop.
They want the man that make $1 million a year because he can wine them, dine them, travel them, you know what I mean? And then take them shopping, right? But then you settle for the dude that make $50,000 a year. This dude right here, he working every day. So he can't wine you, he can't dine you, and he can't take you shopping. You know, maybe once a month, but not, you know, weekly. Or, you know,
he may not be able to do all the materialistic stuff you just named. But listen, he might be a good motivator. He might be able to listen.
But that ain't what she's looking for.
That's not her standard.
Right. That's not within the standard of Bill.
So then my thing would be, we're saying, what's more important? We're saying, you settling or you compromising?
Well, everybody
for that person, they might not be willing to compromise. They might be a firm.
That's probably why they're single.
It ain't playing space.
But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have some of those wild standards like that. Like my standard would be, hey, if we're dating, right? But I'm just saying, but it's getting serious. Like it's like, hey, I'm thinking that this is gonna be a real relationship.
Right.
You gotta cook. You gotta know how to cook.
Right.
But what if she can't?
Then that's it.
You gonna give us some cooking lesson based on her potential.
So you're not lowering your potential. So I could do this. I could do the cooking lessons or whatever. But if she just say no, I don't want to cook. Then I'm gonna say I'm going out the door.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because you know.
What about hiring herself?
That's more money. Yeah.
I'm not saying no. Because that was one of my. That's what I need. You don't have to cook every day.
Why you can't cook?
Cause I don't. That's not what I do.
No,
I can.
Okay, so why you can't take the cooking lessons?
Cause that's what I was looking for as part of one of my standards.
That's what it is.
But
that's non-negotiable standard.
Once again, that's where the compromiser comes in.
No, that's when I go and find what I'm looking for.
See, I can cook. You might not can't cook, but I can cook.
So again, so it looks like we are a house divided, which is good. We like these. We got the no's over here. No, don't lower your standard. We got the maybe you can lower your standard a little bit.
Like would you want to be with a prime example, right? You with a girl, right? Early, right? And you like, man, I want to have some kids. You finna lower your standards and say, man, I got this bad chick on my arm, but she don't want to have no kids. Are you gonna lower your standards to that?
Yeah, we can adopt.
Thank you.
No, she don't want kids. Period. Not having them or adopting them.
nothing.
Oh.
No means no.
Oh yeah, that's
Like it's not an option.
That's different.
Yeah, that's
No, it's not the same.
No,
that's a standard.
Listen,
It's a standard.
That's affecting her quality of life.
Look, also
That's her body.
But that's not a standard. That's an expectation. That's not a standard.
That's a want.
Yeah, that's an
Need.
expectation.
Maybe it's a need.
No, that's an expectation.
That's your want.
That's not a standard.
It's her need.
Why is money a standard then? And the kids can't. Why is not? Why? Tell me what's different.
Yeah,
I don't
because you
understand.
can go out and make money. A standard is
She can go out. She can lay down. And
somebody
have
that's
kids.
6 foot tall. 6 foot tall. Well, she probably can't have kids.
That's a different. Now you didn't say that. I said she don't want to have kids,
Okay,
but I want to have kids.
that's an expectation.
That's not but that's part of my thing. So I can go out the door because we're not compatible.
Yeah, you have that right.
So
You
the
have that
same
right.
thing is like if you 5'10" and you're not 6'5" and she wants 6'5", you don't even stand a chance.
Yeah, you don't stand. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
No.
If she's not lowering her
If she
standard,
firm on it.
Listen,
She
she's
firm
firm.
on it.
She firm, but here's the thing.
She can change her mind and have
You only
kids.
need that one chance to prove why you better than 6'5".
no, but she just said, man,
At 5'10", you better
like,
be 6'5".
cause like,
Hey, you better believe it.
but she's 6'3" and she like, man, I ain't worth.
Listen, I've been there, done that.
She ain't trying to look down at you.
We know you can climb a mountain. We know you can climb the pole.
We climb trees.
We ain't climbing
We from
trees.
the
But
country.
she said, man, you still too short. I'll let you climb it, but you short.
6'5", you can't go to. You can't go 10 feet.
But the
You can't
same
go 10
thing,
inches.
like
Whatever.
if I'm going to a
You can't do it.
relationship, my standard or whatever you want to call it is that I want to have a baby, and then you
That's
tell
a
me
want.
That's a want.
That's a want. That's a want. You can change your mind and say I don't want to have a baby. She can change her mind and say I do want to have a baby.
So cooking is a want. So now you saying my other
She
thing.
can learn. She can change her mind and learn how to cook.
On WhatsApp, it says no kids that want it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call mine.
Yeah, don't want kids. Yeah.
I'm gonna call.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna call
That's part
these.
of requirement /
Yeah,
standard
what we gonna call?
to be what they want.
Yeah, we're gonna call these deal breakers then. Whatever we call them for, we're gonna call these deal breakers. And so the deal breakers.
That was a
is
good question. That was a good question.
Don't wrap it up.
Yeah, let's go get.
Right.
We got time for another one.
Nah, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We're gonna wrap this up. So again, thank all of our viewers on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining in. We look forward to seeing you guys
And
next
if you
time.
have not
Next
subscribed,
time.
go on YouTube, type in bro-code S2. It's gonna come up with all the shows. You can catch us back from season 1 all the way to now. Subscribe.
And tell your friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to subscribe.